Hey everyone. So I am going to do a plan with me again. So if you're here, it's probably a miracle because I did not send out any emails or any notices or anything about this. I thought about it and then yeah, it was just one of those months. So I didn't send out any emails this entire month. So let's just talk about what I did do, which was not email. So if you're here, hello. Hopefully you can hear me. I know I always say this, but sometimes if there's no one here, then there's really no one to let me know that you can hear me. So I don't know if anyone is around. Let me check my other screens to see what's going on. So if you're in Crowdcast, the comments are on this screen over here. And if you're on YouTube, the comments are on this screen that I'm looking at right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just flip my screen. I've just made slides because that's how I talk. Hey, Britt, I can hear you. Thank you. That was very nice of you. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do a share screen application. What am I trying to share? I'm trying to share my entire presentation. So hopefully you can see that. All right. So if you are looking at the right screen, which I don't even know, can I check my phone? Turn off the volume. I think that's right. Yeah, it's March. Or tomorrow it will be March. So I kind of changed this up a little. I think I used to do a workbook for you guys, but quite honestly, it's like a lot of work to do the workbooks. I'm not even doing them anymore. So it's just kind of me to chat with you because I'm not on social media anymore. And so basically, I don't send out emails, which I didn't this month. It's hard to keep in touch. So I'm just going to go over went well. I'm going to try to chunk it into the same order I usually do: author stuff, pretty fabulous stuff, and then personal stuff, which is pretty much my whole life. I don't think there's even time for extracurricular activities or any other business or anything else. So the first thing I did is I changed my reading goal from, I was saying 1 book a week, but I'm reading so fast now, it's 2 books a week. So my goal for the year is to read 104 books. And I can't even tell you, like, it's made such a huge difference since I've switched over to Goodreads. Like I think because I'm tracking it, I'm just reading way more. Plus, if you guys remember, I always add 1 new habit every year. And so last year it was to write 2 hours a day. And the year before that, it was to work out every day. And the habit that I'm trying to do for this year is to read for 1 hour every day right before bedtime. So, you know, I know a lot of people do like tons of habits, but really the most that I can handle is just adding 1 new thing per year. And honestly, the time's going to come and go. If you think about it, like I'm 46 now, if I had added 1 new habit a year, let's say, obviously maybe not in my 20s, but or when I was before 20, but you know, I'd have 26 new habits I could have added since the age of 20 if I just did 1 per year. So anyways, can't change the past. So that's where we're at now. So I read like total 36 for this year. I'm actually ahead. So these are like all the books that I read, and I pretty much am only reading fiction. We were talking about this the other day with my friends, and I noticed that there are some people that just don't read fiction at all. Like I was just talking to my friend Kirsten today. She never reads fiction. Like it's a hard no for her. She really just wants to read nonfiction and do self-improvement and just learn stuff. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, for me, when I read, I just want to enjoy stuff. I want to relax. I want to be entertained. And so, yeah, so I read a bunch of mysteries. I read some romance. I read some thrillers. I really got into thrillers this month, which I really liked. You can see all of these ratings on Goodreads as well. So that's pretty much what I did. Now, how did I read so many books? Because I definitely did not read all of them. I listened to a lot of audiobooks, which I've never listened to audiobooks before. I used to be a big snob about it. Like I used to think audiobooks were real reading and like you were kind of being lazy if you listened to audiobooks. I don't know why I thought that, but I actually love them. So what I did is the way I was able to, I think if you add it up, there's only 28 days in February, but I ended up reading like, I think 24 books. And that's because instead of, if you think about all the time that you do stuff, and I wasn't even leaving the house, right? Like I wasn't doing any errands or anything. I vacuum, I wipe down the counters, I maybe make a meal, I watch something sometimes when I eat breakfast or lunch. And so I used to watch TV or just have silence. And so now I've switched over to listening to audiobooks while I do that. And plus I listen to the audiobooks at 2 or 3x speed. never listen to it at 1x. And so that also makes it go really fast. So an average book is, say, like 9 hours to listen to from beginning to end. And if I'm listening to it at triple speed, it only takes me 3 hours, which is like one a day, right? Like I end up doing 3 hours of folding laundry and vacuuming, and I don't know, it all just kind of adds up. So if you are interested in audiobooks as well, because I was really looking into this, I'm a member of the New York Public Library, thankfully, because they have a ton of audiobooks just available for free. And, you know, I don't know why. Some libraries do and some libraries don't. Like the San Diego Public Library has like barely anything. Scribd is a service. You just pay $10 per month and you can listen to as many audiobooks as you want. And they have actually a pretty good selection. They have magazines. They also have books. They have a ton of stuff on there. Audible has pretty much everything. I mean, everybody is on Audible, right? So there's other services like, I think you can listen to audiobooks on Kobo and iBooks and all that, but I wouldn't bother. They cost a lot and the library is pretty small. But Audible has pretty much everything. So I just signed up for, I think it's premium, and it's $22.95 a month. And then you get to listen to 2 audiobooks per month. The nice thing though, is if you don't like them or they kind of weren't what you were thinking, which sometimes happens with books, you can do an exchange. I try not to do that because I know authors spend a lot of money and I am an author, but if it's just a terrible book, you know, you don't have to feel like you're stuck with it, because when you buy it on Audible, you like are buying it, versus Scribd, you're just kind of listening to it for a few minutes, which I just discovered Scribd. So I'm trying to just kind of listen before I buy, just before I like make a commitment. So what else happened in the writing world? Courtney and I did our February book club. So we did Murder in the Margins, and it was kind of funny. No one really liked this book. And what we did for this month is we let the members nominate a book, and then we randomly chose it. And so the person who had chosen this book or nominated this book wasn't even on the book club call or even active in the book club. So it was kind of funny. We're all stuck reading this person's book or her selection. But what happened? I also secured a free book. This author was very nice. I don't want to like badmouth her. She actually writes under a different pen name. She agreed to give a signed copy of a paperback to another book in her series. And then also for next month, the other book, we were able to get a signed author giveaway from our book from the author as well. So very excited about that. And that's our new little logo with the new Cozy Escape kitty. If you were here last month, we had rebranded last month. I released another book. So this is book 3 in my Cupcake Mystery Series, which is the only mystery series I have out. I'm making it sound like I have all these different series. But this is the only one I have out. So that came out mid-month. And so once you have 3 books, you have enough to create a box set. Sometimes box sets can be 5 books. They can be 10 books. It really depends on what you have. But in general, you need at least 2 to have a box set. So now I have a box set. So in case you wanted to buy all 3 in the series, you could just buy them in the box set instead of individually. And then if you buy them in the box set, I think it's a better value. I think. I'm not really sure how those work. And again, because I have a publisher, they determine the pricing and everything else and specials they want to run. I also rebranded. So the same person, Sarah, who branded the Cozy Escape logo, I asked her to do one for mine as well, for Lisa Siefert for the writing. And then my friend Melissa came up with that cute tagline, Sassy Sleuths and Kitty Capers. So these logos on the left were like my attempt to make a logo, which pretty much looks like the logos that you see for Pretty Fabulous and Planner Academy, right? So I didn't really deviate a lot. And I don't think they're bad, but I don't think they're good. And it was back when I was going to use Lisa Latte or Lisa London, wasn't really sure. So I think this is a better fit for my brand and the kind of stories that I want to write, just kind of cutesy, happy-go-lucky, you know, perky mysteries. So that's it. And that kitten is supposed to look like Lucky, like it's supposed to be an Abyssinian kitten. So he has a little shirt that says Kitty Crime Solver. So I thought it was genius, but that could just be me because I think my cat is adorable. And then, so I created these Google business profiles. So last month, we'll talk about this in a minute, I had a SEO specialist come in and talk to the Planner Academy students. And there's just so many other things with SEO that I could be doing that I'm not doing. And so what I did is I created a Google business profile. So when you look up as Cozy Escape Book Club, it shows up. Obviously, this is a fake address, but it's just another way for you to like visually show up in a Google search and also just, you know, be front and center and be first. So the way to, these are so easy to create. You just go how to create a Google business profile. follow the directions, and it takes 2 seconds. The only thing that takes a little while, and I don't know why, is sometimes it will make you verify the address. So you might have to put in a real address. I'm not really sure how that works, quite honestly. This one was totally fine. I don't know if it's something to do with their search. Same thing, Lisa Siefert. So this address here is actually my mailing box, which is a UPS box. So that way, in theory, if people want to send me nice stuff, they could send it to there. But if you have a UPS box, I would definitely recommend it. You can also add your own products in there as well, so people can buy just right off of your site. I know the wind is blowing in. I'm trying to get some fresh air, but it's kind of blowing in my face. I also started a paranormal cozy mystery book club. So most people that like cozy mysteries like contemporary cozies with no magical elements. However, paranormal cozies are probably one of the best sellers on Amazon. It's just really an odd phenomenon. So I think cozy mystery readers are not voracious readers. Like, if you think about romance readers, they will read like 100 books a month, right? Cozy mystery readers might read 100 books over their whole lifetime. So they're not reading as many books. So it's hard to put out, people aren't trying to push them out as much. It's not as popular of a genre as romance. But my friend Molly and I decided, she writes only paranormal, I believe. And so we were like, and I want to write a paranormal cozy mystery at some point. So we're like, why don't we just put together a paranormal cozy mystery book club, just like the Cozy Escape Book Club, where we talk about different, mostly contemporary. There might be 1 month out of the year that we do a magical, but this is only paranormal. And so each month we're going to talk about a different theme, like vampires. Then we'll talk about werewolves. Then we'll talk about what else is there? Ghosts, psychics, all of those fun things. So that's going to kick off in May. We opened it up on the Facebook group right now, and we're going to start moving people over next month. So this is just my own graphic. Molly is a cover designer and also the genius with making things look better. So as soon as she creates a new banner, we're going to start using that and pushing it out. So very excited about that. Okay, so now let's switch over to Pretty Fabulous. So what's going on with Pretty Fabulous? I have not done a lot, honestly, with Pretty Fabulous. And I told everyone that I was taking the month off. So there were no YouTube videos. There were no emails, because I really didn't have anything to talk about except writerly stuff. And that really doesn't apply to that audience. But I did do some stuff like behind the scenes. So the first thing I did is I rebranded. So, and it's like a mini rebrand. It's very subtle. So I've had rose gold forever, like ever since I started. And that's because rose gold was very popular at the time. And quite honestly, I loved rose gold. I thought it was really pretty. I liked mixing it with that. It's like a brownish kind of gray color. And so we've switched now, and it's navy and pink. So it's a darker pink. And the reason is it was just really hard. I'll go over that, but it was just really hard to use the rose gold. And I kind of feel like that's phasing out. I still think rose gold is beautiful. I still think that people will want to buy it, but I think just in terms of popularity, it's kind of trending on its way out. So it was a good time to change over. And, the fonts and the letters, I kind of just left those as is. It wasn't like a major rebrand. It's just kind of like I said, a mini rebrand. Also, the logo, the wide logo is changing. So that's not going to have a symbol anymore to the left. It's just going to be a text logo. And so I changed the website as well. So the website on the left, and again, it was like, I told everyone I was going to do a website rebrand, and I had made the website myself, and I paid someone to program it, and it had the old colors, the pink and the gray, and honestly, I just didn't love it, and so I didn't really push it or show anyone, or like I never had a big announcement. So this one I do love. So I streamlined it. I actually deleted a lot of stuff. I decided that less is more. And so if you go now to prettyfabulousdesigns.com, you can see the new site, and it just has the 3 main offerings that I want to push forward this year. And I think part of it too was I was really confused on whether or not I was going to start teaching how to do digital products. And it was one of those things where it was a buzzword, and we're going to talk about this later too, where I just kind of got really excited. Like everybody was excited about digital products, and I make digital products. I'm like, I'm just going to talk all about digital products. But at the end of the day, the whole reason I have digital products because I love talking about stationery. So my main offerings for 2021 are going to be how to teach people how to make planners, how to make a card deck, and how to create wedding invitations. Because I think that you could really make a lot of significant income, if not a full-time income, from any of those three, as well as, I just think those are things that people are really interested in, and there's just not a lot of education out there on how to do it. So that's what my plans are for 2021, if you're wondering what the direction of Pretty Fabulous is. And I think this is a very good, a much more succinct, like streamlined way to show, like, are you at the right place when you dropped in at this page? So what were some lessons I learned with the branding? Because remember, when I did that Pretty Fabulous rose gold and gray, I did it myself. And I actually used to sell logos. When I first started out, I was like, I will do your logo and your website and all that other stuff. And I don't know that I'm really qualified to do it. I mean, I don't know that anyone needs a qualification to make websites, but I was kind of just doing things that I thought was pretty. I wasn't really adhering to a lot of standards. But I did learn from all of this that I will never again use a metallic foil for a logo. It's really difficult. And because of the different gradients and shades in a metallic foil to make it shimmer, you have dark, light, dark. That's what creates that metallic look. It's really hard to pick just one spot color, like a hex number, for your branding when you have to do a non-metallic thing such as like a website color. I'll never use a light color again. Light colors it's really hard to see the text when you have a light color. It's difficult to work with. And I think I'll make everything uniform. So if you remember what happened with when I created Planner Academy, and then when I created Calligraphy, when I created all these new products, I just kind of started from scratch. I was like, I'm just going to make whatever I think looks pretty, right? And so if you went to Planner Academy, you would have had no idea that it was part of Pretty Fabulous. And if you went to, what else did I pushed out so many card decks, or if you went to a lesson on metallic foils, or you went to a lesson on spot colors, or any of those other things, they all look like they're totally separate companies. And so going forward, I'm going to make everything uniform. So everything just has the same look and feel, instead of trying to recreate everything from scratch, because the whole recreating everything from scratch is really what the planner pop-up shops are supposed to do, because they're different every month and they're a totally different theme and color scheme and mood board and all of that. And so that's where I'm going to put all of my energy for creative things that I want to do differently. So what does that mean? I'm only going to use one designer going forward. And then also I'm going to add, so right now the website is pretty sparse. There's just the home page and then the shop, and that's it. So, we're still working on it. I'm going to add an about page, the freebie page, a resource page, and just a standard sales page. So like no matter what products I sell in the future, they all kind of look and feel the same thing. So you feel like you are in the right spot. So those are plans for the future. Is it next month? I have no idea, but that's just kind of ongoing what's going to happen with the online, I guess, branding and presence. So this means something also. So Planner 101, because everyone keeps asking about that, it's done. So the workbook is done. The slides are done. The only thing I have not done is I haven't recorded anything yet, because all of this is glitter, right? So I did it again, right? Because I really like metallic foils. And I said last month, I was like, I like glitter. I'm just going to make everything glitter. But when I talked to the designer, she was like, this really doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Looking at text in glitter is really hard to read. So you can even see the little B on the planner boss here. I had to put a darker color behind it, because without that, it's hard to read. So like you can see the P here without another darker color behind it. It's hard to read. And so I'm going to get rid of all the glitter, which is what all the slides and the work, but everything's all glitter. And we're going to just wait until she creates a logo that very much matches the one you see at the top with those two colors, and looks complementary instead of not. So as soon as that's done, then that will be released. Some other things I did. So I know I said I was never going to add anything to Boss School, but I lied. I ended up adding 3 more sessions this month to Boss School. So Boss School was like this one-time sale that I did for Planner Academy students as an add-on if they wanted to get some more coaching, and also hear from other experts on how to sell and how to market. And so I did a session just on printing, because I feel like everyone was overwhelmed with printing. And 2, we had just moved to a new format over on Mighty Networks, where I'd put all the print vendors into a different and easier, I believe it was easier to find format, because usually before we just had a spreadsheet along with just a big, huge thing of text. And because of that, it was really difficult to find things that you needed to do. So now everything is streamlined and in, different vendor, like a Rolodex, right? So we went through all of that, and we talked about printing, and we talked about doing print on demand, and we talked about spirals and everything else. So that was one week. The next week, like I said, I brought in an expert on SEO. So Myrna went in and she talked about doing your digital footprint and how to really make sure that you stand out online and what things you should be looking for and hooking up Google Analytics. So that was like, she had actual slides and a presentation for that and answered some questions for people. And a lot of questions really focused on, should I do an Etsy shop? Should I do Shopify? How does the SEO work on there? So she helped answer all of those questions for everybody, because I'm for sure not an SEO expert, and I have definitely paid people on Fiverr just to do SEO, whatever, sprucing. And even then, Myrna's like, you need to understand. She was funny. She was nice. She's like, you really need to understand what it is that they're doing for you, because maybe they're not doing anything, which is very true. So that was a really valuable session. And then, because I talked about this before, and kind of the way I was really snobby about audiobooks, like they're not real books, I was really snobby about low content books and how low content books or zero content books really aren't a strategy. And, you shouldn't do them. You should do a higher, more elevated thing. However, people make way more than I do every month just from having low content, zero content books, which are, coloring books, Sudoku puzzles, planners, notebooks, journals. What else is low content? Like, there's a ton of low content. And of course, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't think of anything. But all of those things are actual businesses of just making those every month. So Rachel is an expert in this area. She has a whole course on it. So she came in and talked to everybody about how to do that, what keywords to look for, how to work with Amazon, where to get your covers made. And so we actually worked out a deal. So I'm going to give her one of the modules from Planner Academy or something else that she wants for her group, or do a talk. And then in exchange, she's going to give me one of the bonuses from her course. So that will also be in Planner Academy 2.0. So really excited about being able to offer that too as a bonus. So those three things were inside of Boss Goal, even though I said I wasn't going to add more things. And I'm also in talks with another person, and I don't want to say anything because she hasn't confirmed yet, but it's really big. And so I'm super excited if she says yes, because that'll be a really good speaker for Boss School as well. So what else is going on? I am speaking this week, and like as in tomorrow it starts, the Calligraphy Business Summit. So the Calligraphy Business Summit is put on by my friend Joyce, and I think this is the second time around that she's put it on. And it's all these different speakers that are calligraphy experts talking about how to, get found, how to do your pricing, how to put proposals together. So I did a presentation on 5 ways to make your calligraphy clients fall in love with you. So really excited about that. The virtual summit is free. So check in the description below, go ahead and sign up. If you sign up though for the all access pass, you will get everybody's slide decks, as well as I think Joyce has some other bonus content in there as well. If you sign up for the all access pass, which isn't a lot, I think it's like $97. And then you don't have to worry, because the way virtual summits work is I believe the replays are only available that day. And then after that, they disappear. So after that, then you can't listen to them if you aren't able to listen to it that very day, I believe, or maybe the day after or something. So what is in my presentation is how to become the best calligrapher you can be. And I actually go through 5 ways to make your clients hate you. Then we talk about why you should care, because honestly, like when I thought about doing client care for calligraphy for wedding envelopes, I just thought it was kind of silly. Like, they're probably never going to come back to me. Like, how often do you really need calligraphy done for envelopes? And even if they get divorced and get married again, they're not going to be like, oh, you know what, honey, to their second or third husband, we should really hire this one wedding calligrapher that I had before for my other wedding. So let's reuse her for every time I get divorced and get remarried, right? So we talk about that because there are reasons to care. And many people probably had that same mentality that I did. We also talk about 5 ways to make your clients love you. And then I have a whole bonus section on 5 upsell ideas on ways that I've actually been able to maximize that sale and get a higher what's it called? AOV, average order value. So so that's what's in my presentation for Joyce's Calligraphy Business Summit. And you can listen to it for free as long as you sign up for the summit pass that I have. The link I have below is free. And then the replay, and you get everyone's slide decks, then you would have to sign up for an all access pass. So that kicks off tomorrow. So personal update, I left the house 2 times this whole month. It was just pretty much this picture of Lucky. It pretty much epitomizes basically what February was. Just me just hanging out in the house, cuddling with the cat, watching TV. Okay, so the first time I left the house, my friend Lauren and I try to go out for hot chocolate not hot chocolate, what am I trying to say? For brunch every like once a month. So we made it out to brunch and we had s'mores hot chocolates along with our breakfast. And then the second time I went out, we went to a Galentine's Day celebration on the 13th, and we did afternoon tea at some place here in town. I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, so those were the 2 times that I left the house this month. And otherwise, because everything here in San Diego and California is still shut down. I know like Texas is open. I mean, not that it matters because it was so cold last week. I know Florida's open. Like most places are still kind of open except New York and I think some other states, but it is still like total lockdown. There's really nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. They do have outdoor dining. But even then, most of the outdoor dining places are still kind of shut down and it's just takeout. So those are my only 2 outings. So for Valentine's Day, I ordered myself some Baked by Melissa cupcakes, which are my favorite from New York. And Lucky got a box out of it. It's because it's a padded box because it has to be refrigerated. It has like soft little padding. So even though he looks kind of somber there, he's very excited. I know it's just that Abyssinian face. That's kind of their look. This cat loves boxes. Like every time we get an Amazon box, no matter how, it's just kind of funny because this box here on the left is so tiny, but he still managed to get in. I almost threw it out because I was like, this box is too small for the cat. But we did get the cat something of his own. We got the Kitnip box. It was only $20. And the only reason I mention it is because if you're a cat person, like Lucky does not like catnip at all. Like I buy all these catnip products at the cat store or online on Amazon, and he's just like, whatever. But I don't know what they put, if they put like crack in this Kitnip box, like kitty crack. He loved it. Like when the box got there, before I even opened it, he was like rubbing himself all over the box and fawning over the box. Like it was still taped shut. So if you have been thinking about a kitty subscription box for your cat, I would definitely recommend this one. Plus, it was so cheap that included shipping. And he just loved all the toys. We also tried Cat Person, which is, I just kept getting all these ads for this cat food that was supposed to be organic and healthy and wonderful and blah, blah, blah. So it was only $21.95 for the starter box. And it comes with the dry food. And then the 2 things on the left are wet. He did not like the chicken at all, which is odd because he likes chicken in his little grillers, but he did like the salmon and the tuna. So I think every dog or every cat varies, but it's kind of weird. The duck and the turkey, he kind of likes it. He doesn't seem too excited about it, but he seems to be eating it. So that, I don't know if we're going to reorder it because he wasn't too excited. And it is kind of expensive because inside of each of these, you only get 4 containers. So it doesn't last you that long. I also ordered myself some Jacques Touré hot chocolate and cookie dough. So I realized I really miss New York. And so, Baked by Melissa is only in New York. Jacques Touré is only in New York. And if you've never been there, it's just a chocolate shop. And I don't know, it's just really good. But they have wicked hot chocolate, which means it's kind of spicy. And I've had like the Mexican hot chocolate or spicy hot chocolate, and they're all kind of like, meh. This one is amazing. It is like above and beyond, like light years ahead of everyone that I've ever had of the spicy hot chocolate. So anyways, yes, I make the cat pose with everything. Actually, he just loves jumping in front of the camera. really likes to be on film. So this is my second month with no lattes. However, to be fair, maybe hot chocolate is cheating, but I have not had any lattes. So it's been 2 months now. Still with no lattes. And it's kind of funny because my other channel, YouTube channel, is called Lisa Latte, because I'm so into cozy mysteries and like lattes are big. So I don't know. When you make a YouTube channel, it is impossible to get the name changed. So it might just be Lisa Latte forever. But I've been doing like a lot of talking. Like I'm always doing a lot of talking, but I will stop and see if anyone has any questions on anything. Britt, need to follow you on Goodreads. Yes, you definitely need to follow me on Goodreads. Go do it now. We should be Goodreads friends. I'm really super excited about Goodreads. You can see recommendations from other people and see what they're reading. I try to block out, I try to block out any of my friends that are reading nonfiction because I'm just like, that's a big snooze fest. Like, I don't need to read any more nonfiction, right? It kind of reminds me of reading emails or corporate things. I don't know. They're just not that interesting. Melanie, audiobooks are amazing. Yeah, I don't know why I was such a snob about them before. Tammy, hi, everyone. I have the Audible Premium too. Awesome. Bobby, the new website looks fresh. Aw, thanks, Bobby. I never know what's a fair deal when it comes to collabs on courses. Yeah, we just did an exchange. I think everybody's different. It's a great question. You should have kind of a similar audience and you should both have similar offerings, right? So clearly Rachel's offering things that are very much aligned with what I'm offering and she was already interested in it. And I actually met her through a friend of a friend. So it was just completely random. I had never heard of her before. She's lovely, super friendly. And so it really depends. Like other people, you might just want to pay, or you might just want to do another kind of barter. Maybe you do coaching and you're able to offer a free coaching session for them, or maybe you have products that they want, or you're able to introduce them to somebody else who has something else that they want. So it's really hard to say, but usually the general rule of thumb with collabs is you get people who are about equivalent to you in terms of, I guess, I hate to use the word popularity, but just in terms of, I guess not really popular. What I'm saying is like your audience size and what you offer, right? So if you have like a $1,000 course and this other person has a $8,000 coaching course, then probably it might not be a good collab exchange because hers is valued at such a higher price point. Just throwing that out there. I mean, you might just get lucky and you have friends. Like I know, when we talk about $8,000 courses, my friend Camila has $8,000, $10,000, $20,000 courses and coaching that she offers. But luckily we're besties. So she just does training. She did a training for our boss school for free. However, if we had not been besties, she probably would have charged me for doing those things. So it just depends on things. And as you get to know people, you'll find that there are certain people that are in your circle. There's a woman who's super popular, Kat Schmoyer, super nice, but her circle and her clique, I'm just not able to break in. Like, I don't know. I've reached out to a few people and they don't talk to me or they don't respond back to me. And it's possible maybe I'm just not popular enough for them, or my audience isn't similar enough to them, or who knows, they just don't like the way I look. It doesn't matter. You can't take those things personally. I think, as time goes on and things go and you are able to maybe even organically strike up conversations with people, things could just work out, right? So it really depends. Another bonus that is coming to Planner Academy is an affiliate course through Zoe Linda. Yeah, Zoe Linda. So she's really nice, but I've been talking with Zoe kind of informally for like 2 years now, right? And then I finally did the ask for a bonus. And so, sometimes you just have to feel things out and wait for some time. So it just really depends. But yeah, it's a good question. It's really hard to know. And when I first started out, I didn't really offer anything except things for my friends because I reached out to people and they were like, we don't know you. So we're not going to offer anything. So, all right. So let's go through what surprised me. I'm almost done. It's my play button. There it is. All right. So what surprised me? Like lots of things surprised me, but I had an awful month for word count, which is ironic because I wanted to take the whole month off from Pretty Fabulous so I could get some writing done. So what I've learned about myself is I definitely need some time to transition from thinking about business to thinking about writing. And I don't know why, I just can't do both of them at the same time. And it made for a really inefficient month. So I wrote 8,000 words. I mean, I wrote more than that, but I ended up deleting stuff and rewriting and deleting and rewriting. And that's just my iterative creative process when I write. But my goal, in theory, at this point right now, I was supposed to have written 80,000 words. I was like, I'm just going to only focus on writing and just do that. But because I had done the rebrand, and that took actually a lot of time, all these other things, the book clubs, like all the things just kept coming. And then the month was over, and it was a shorter month, but to be fair, I mean, what is it? The 28th, 29, 30, 31. If it had been a 31 month day, that would be only 3 more days. So I don't know that 3 more days would have made a big difference. And in fact, today I was going to do this presentation on Friday, but I was like, I don't know if anyone does this when they have deadlines. I was like, well, I could just wait till Sunday because maybe I will just have so much productivity on Saturday that I'll get 1,000 more things done that I can talk about. That didn't happen. So that's kind of where we are. I did 10% of my goals. So I always talk about contingency plans because when I have failures, I feel like that you should at least examine them and try to think of ways so you, like, there's nothing wrong with failing, first of all, like ever, because that means you actually tried to do something. But I think you should at least try to think of a way to have new failures and not the same exact failure again over and over again. And so I signed up for my friend Becca's class, which is Live Better Faster. So Live Better Faster, it's like so cheap, but for this class, it's just based on your top 5 Clifton strengths. I think it's Gallup Clifton, I think it's the same company, but your 5 strengths should dictate how you work better. So if you remember, and I think this class is still open, like if anyone wants to sign up for it, just Google Live Better Faster with Becca Syme. And the class kicks off tomorrow. I think enrollment's still open. But back in 2019, I did a presentation on the best writing coach ever. And that was my friend Becca. And it's funny because we'd been friends for like years, like 5 or 6 years before that. And then she told me that she did this coaching. And you know how I feel about like coaching. I'm like, oh, that's so hokey and like touchy-feely, like stay away from me. I don't want to do it. And so finally I was like, you know what? Everyone's talking about how amazing Becca's coaching is. Why don't I just take the class, right? Like, what do I have to lose, right? And so just from one session alone, we figured out my problem was I was writing in the wrong genre. I was writing romance, but I really love writing mystery. Like, that's what I want to write. Like, why was I doing that? So like in just one session, and she was doing like 90% of the talking or probably more. She had, like, without me even saying anything, she had solved all of my problems, right? Just in that one session. And so I just want to show you, like, it actually translates to real dollars. So if you look at my writing, so if anyone has anything on Amazon, Publisher Rocket's amazing. I think it's like $90. It's not even that expensive, but what you're looking at right here is you can look up anything you want. So here at the top, it says Temptation of Cinderella. That's the title of my book. And it does, it tells you it's an ebook, that the author's Lisa London. That's my romance pen name. How many days it's been out, that's the age. ABSR is the Amazon bestseller rank. So that just means out of all the books in the whole like Amazon world, my book is ranked 704,096 out of all the other ones. So almost close to 1 million, right? And the number of pages inside the book, and then KWT, I'm not even sure what that is, the price of the book, and it just does an estimate. So based on your Amazon bestseller rank, it's kind of like the stock market. So if we checked it right now, it might move up or down slightly. But in general, this kind of tells you where you are for the month. It'll tell you your estimated daily sales on the right, and then your estimated monthly sales. So based on the position that I am in the overall store, I'm only making $4 a month from this one romance book. So it's not even like enough to cover, a latte from Starbucks. How is that? And this book, just so you know, I actually put effort into this. I run paid Amazon ads. They're actually still running. I had a website, which I've since taken down, but I had social media. I would post, on there, I'd be like 20 Insta stories a day. And I had a huge mailing list. I had a mailing list of like 12,000 readers. So, even with all of that, it was just still failing. And the reason it was failing, and Beck and I talked about this, because my heart really wasn't into it and I wasn't pushing out more books. And, it just, things weren't aligned. Like I wasn't working. The whole point of Becca's training is that you're not working with your strengths, right? And so since then, when I switched over to mysteries, so when you look at it now, and I did just publish a third book this month, but I don't run any ads. I don't have a website, but I just love talking about and writing mystery books so much that readers are just finding me. And so if you look at this, the sales, the Amazon bestseller rank for all of these books is way higher, right? It goes anywhere from 24,000 to 58,000. And then over here for the monthly sales, so obviously this is an estimate. These aren't you won't know until the whole month is over, but based on where the book is in the overall store, then this tells me that my monthly sales are going to add up to 2,800, which is a huge night and day difference from $4, right? So it's always funny to me. A total side story. There is another author. I remember my friend Camila asked me this. She's like, this woman is talking about how to make $1 million from book sales. And I was like, really? Or not 1 million, 6 figures from book sales. And I said, oh, who is it? And I looked her up, and this woman's ranking. So just so you know, the bigger the Amazon bestseller rank is, the bigger the number is, the worse your book is doing, right? And her book was like even worse than this $4 per month book. It was like 1,500,000 or something like that. And I was like, do not take that course. That woman, I don't even know what she's talking about, right? Her book is not doing well. I don't know what she can teach you. So just so you know, you can look at the Amazon bestseller rank inside of Amazon. You can always see it if you just go down to the details at the end. It'll tell you overall how that book is ranked in the overall store. So you can usually tell if someone's offering a writing course. I would look them up first and see like what their rank is to see if they actually are able to deliver for themselves what they're telling you they can deliver for you or teach you about. So the whole point of this was just to say that if you have the time, I would definitely take writing or Live Better Faster. So Becca's course that I took before was Write Better Faster, but this is just Live Better Faster, which is just how to run your business more efficiently, how to live your personal life better, which are all the things that we talk about outside of writing. So I kind of feel like right now writing is going pretty well. It's just trying to get everything else in, right? Like I feel like I'm failing at Pretty Fabulous. Like I'm just not getting things out there that I want to. The pop-up shops haven't gone up. And so I kind of feel like I need some help. So that's what I'm doing in March is I'm going to try to retool myself to see how to run a little bit more efficiently for the year and be more productive and be more focused. Or honestly, I don't know what the problem is. I just feel like there is a problem. So having someone else help to pinpoint it is really what I need. And so that's why I signed up for this course. And that is next month. So I'm very excited about that. So deliverables for this month. So we talked about this before. I've switched over from just having a whole month of deliverables to just thinking about things in like 1 week space time frame. So this is kind of where we're at for the year. I know it's not a pretty calendar, but it is very functional. It tells me what week of the year we're in. And this is the 9th week of the year out of 52. So we have kind of like, again, just 3 more days. That's it. Just 3 more days than last month. So not a lot. And if you look, it's almost like an exact replica. February started on the 1st with a Monday, and March starts on the 1st with a Monday. So it's the exact same thing, except you get 3 more extra days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday inside of March. So these are kind of like my overall spitball kind of plans. Like if I'm going to kind of put this in with the pencil, I'm just going to go back and re-outline my story. I'm going to write. The website design day is happening next week. And then I'm just going to try to write the rest of the month because I have those 80,000 words due that I thought I was going to do. Those are due I have a hard deadline on March 31st. And so that's why I'm just writing all month. So it's another month that I'm taking off from Pretty Fabulous. I thought I was going to write all those words last month or this month in February and then have this month to go back to Pretty Fabulous, but I don't. So I'm just taking 1 more month off. And then as far as calendar time, like I always try to put big dates in there. The only big dates that I'm planning around are I have a book promo going on March 8th through the 17th. Also, if you've never used book sweeps and you're an author, it's amazing for list building. So at the end of the book sweeps, he has a huge list, and then he'll give you all the emails that opted in to be part of your mailing list at the end. And every time I always get like at least 2,000 people. And that was even with romance. That's how my romance reading list grew so big. And then March 10th, I'm working with the web designer. March 14th, we lose an hour. So don't forget, we're springing forward, which means we set the clocks ahead 1 hour. I just put that down. It's a very sad day for me. I don't know why. I just like the thought in November of gaining an hour. Plus, I'm a winter person, so I love winter. So the opposite of losing an hour and moving towards summer is not the happiest time for me. So I'd rather, like, I'm definitely a winter person. And then March 26th through the 29th, I signed up for the Writer's Digest Mystery and Thriller Conference. So they have actually a good lineup of speakers, and usually it's in person. So this is very helpful that it is virtual. They're actually trying to still make their, I think, July or August annual conference happen in person, which I'm just kind of laughing at because it's in New York City. I don't think that's going to happen, but who knows? And then, like I said, I have that hard deadline of March 31st with the 80,000 words due. And then also on the 31st, we have the Cozy Escape book club discussion that month if you want to join me live for another session. And that's pretty much it. We're at the end. Let me take that down. So does anyone have any questions? I know it's another month where there is nothing from me. I have, like, if you see right back here, these are all the unboxings that I have that I did the overhead unboxing for, and I just need to record the videos for, but because I'm taking another month off, they're just kind of sit back there and wait. It's funny, I was talking to my friend Sarah, she's not an entrepreneur, but she's just like, we're very similar. And her theory was that because I'm not doing everything, I'm being inefficient. So the more stuff she has going on, she said, the more stuff she gets done. And so she tries to jam pack her schedule with everything. Like, she has a full-time job. She is always training for another Ironman or a marathon. And she also became a foster mom to just dogs, and she wants to be a dog trainer. And she still teaches aerobics all the time as well. So she is definitely someone who, I guess I used to be like that, but I still don't feel like I was never an entrepreneur before. Like, when I had that jam-packed schedule, I was just somebody who was an employee, just trying to maximize time, because when you're an employee, you are working for a bonus. So you're always trying to do extra things, or you're working by the hour if you teach aerobics. So it's a little different of a, I guess, philosophy on how to schedule your time and your day. And so, I'm keeping that in the back of my mind that maybe, I don't know, maybe taking the whole month off to write isn't the right thing to do. Maybe I should do everything. But again, I'm going to wait and retool after I take the Live Better Faster. I'll report back to you guys at the end of March how that went, and what I learned and all of those good things. So if anyone has any comments, and I know it's hard to see comments because, why is it hard to see comments? Because I didn't advertise this as a time. I had it for Friday and then I rescheduled it. So yeah. All right. Well, don't forget, there's a link below. Sign up for the Calligraphy Business Summit if you are thinking at all about doing calligraphy as a side hustle, or just something fun that you want to do to make a little extra cash, or as a full-time business. Definitely well worth it, or just interested. You can hear the perspective of everybody else. And I hope everyone's having a great end to their February. It's pretty much it for the last month. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.